To another episode of Mujer De Exito Unbounded. Welcome, bienvenidas. My name is Marti. I am your anfitriona. I am your host. Today, I want to just share with you that I am so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. But thank you for listening to this podcast. If you're watching me on the Coach Marti Angel YouTube channel, you can watch me live and see what I look like and see all the mistakes and the funny faces I make. But anyway, if you don't and you're listening to me on the audio, thank you, gracias. What is Mujer de Exito Unbounded? It is a podcast where we empower Latina entrepreneurs, BIPOC women entrepreneurs to turn their dreams into six-figure realities because we all know that you have the capabilities to succeed. I am your host, Marti Angel, and I am so incredibly grateful. I'm a Latina biz coach dedicated to your success. I want to see and leave a legacy of Latina leaders behind me. You know why? Because people always ask me, and it's going to make me cry, but I always say, I want to be that person where when I die, somebody on my epitaph is going to write, because of you, Marti, we didn't quit. Because I want to empower you to keep sticking with it, because the only way to succeed is to stay with it. But let's get to the podcast. Vamos. Right? Let's get to the podcast. Let me turn up the volume here because it's so important that you really, really hear me. So today I'm kicking off an exciting 3-part series titled Let's Dive In and Lay the Foundation for Your Exponential Growth, right? That's what I want to see. I want to see you exponentially grow, right? And take your business to that 6-figure income level. So today we're going to focus on scaling. Why focus on scaling? ¿Por qué? Right? ¿Por qué? Today, while we focus on scaling, it is especially important for you, the mujerpreneur, because scaling is not just about growing, but it is about expanding your current business and expanding it efficiently and sustainability, right? And it's sustainably, right? So it's muy importante, sumamente importante que empecemos a ver el negocio y moverlo adelante eficientemente y para que de largo plazo siga dándonos fruta. So, as Latinas, como Latinas, we face a unique challenge in the business world. So different than our other counterparts, our other women counterparts, because we also possess an incredible amount of resilience and creativity. Why? Because it's in our genes, it's in our genes. We've been batted down as Latinas, as Mexicanas. We've been batted down, kicked around, and tried to be kicked out. I know that it's happened to me where people will tell me, go back to where you came from. Well, let me see. I came from a womb in the United States because I was born here. So what are they telling me, right? Well, ¿qué me están diciendo? A veces me dicen, hey, vete, lárgate, regrésate de donde vienes. Okay. That is not cool. If anything else in this world, we need to learn how to be kind. So let's get back to the business of scaling our path, not only to survive, but to thrive, because that's what this podcast is all about. It's about interviewing and taking, interviews, my guests, and giving you tips and tricks for all of those who have gone from surviving to thriving, because we want to be a thriver, not just a survivor, but to be a thriver, you have to have survived a lot of stuff. But let's start today because this is a 3-part series. So if you're listening to this today, if you're watching me on the Coach Marti Angel YouTube channel, I want you to know that this is a 3-part series. I've created this 3-part series because I like to break things down and make it easy for you. Me gusta quebrar las cosas, cortar las cosas para que las entiendan en pedacitos chiquitos, ¿verdad? So let's start by understanding what scalability means. A scalable business model is one that can handle an increase in clients, in sales, or output without significant increase in costs. That is so critically important. It's not just growing. Esto es tan diferente. Scaling es tan diferente. No es nada más que estamos creciendo, but growth, my friends, amigas, chulas, hermosas. Growth is when your resources and revenue increase together. Let me repeat that. Growth is when your resources and your revenue increase together. But scaling is when your revenue increases without a substantial increase in your resources. Let me repeat that. Scalability is when your revenue increases without a substantial increase in your resources. Excuse me. It's about doing more with less. That's what scalability is. Dumbing it down, it's basically about doing more with less. Scalability es algo que nos dice, es todo lo que necesitamos hacer para hacer más en menos tiempo, ¿verdad? Y es muy importante que empiecemos a hacer eso. Now, let me ask you, how do you know if your business is ready to scale? Una pregunta. Esta pregunta, yo sé que la tienen allí en su mente, pero la pregunta es, ¿cómo sabes si tu negocio está listo para hacer scale? Right? So let me answer that. First, you've got to assess your current business model. Ask yourself this question, a little bit of self-coaching here. Can my business handle more customers without compromising quality or service? Can my business handle more customers without compromising quality or service? A ver, en español, ¿puede mi negocio aumentar los clientes sin el compromiso de la calidad y el servicio que les estoy dando? Es una pregunta de self-coaching que se tienen que hacer para saber si en realidad están listos para mover el negocio adelante. Now, here's another question. What are the strengths I can leverage? What are your strengths that you can leverage? That's question number 2, self-coaching question number 2. What are the strengths that I can leverage? Self-coaching question number 2. La pregunta número 2. ¿Cuáles son mis fuertes que puedo usar? Right? So where are the gaps and opportunities for improvement? Question number 3, where are the gaps and opportunities for improvement? Once you ask yourself those 3 questions, this assessment is crucial in identifying what you need to focus to prepare for scaling. Es lo que necesitas preguntarte para ver si estás preparada para mover el negocio adelante. Because remember, the next step is critical, but first you have to identify what you're doing. So the next step is setting goals. That's the next step, setting goals. El siguiente paso es poner metas. We're not just about, we don't just want to set any goals. We want to set SMART goals. And I'm sure you've heard of them before. And if I repeat something you already know, well, take it as the more repetition, the more it sets in. So what are SMART goals? SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant, and time-bound, right? These goals need to align with your long-term vision and your short-term objectives, right? Estas metas que vas a poner necesitan alinearse con tu visión de largo plazo y también con tus objetivos de corto plazo. So, for instance, a SMART goal could be to increase online sales by 20% in the next 6 months through targeted social media marketing, right? So now let's talk about that. Let's talk about the key strategies for scalability. Once you know that you're ready to scale, let's talk about what are the key strategies to make it so. And the first one is diversify your revenue streams. Okay, en español, ahora vamos a platicar cuáles son las estrategias más importantes para que empieces a hacer scale, ¿verdad? Y lo número uno que tienes que hacer y entender es que tienes que diversificar tus entradas de ingresos, ¿verdad? You've got to be careful not to put your eggs all in one basket. You've got to explore different ways to generate income. Now, my friends, amigas chulas hermosas, that not putting all my eggs in one basket, OMG, did I learn that lesson big time. Okay, as many of you guys know, I was making a 6-figure income. My husband was making a 6-figure income, and we were rolling in the dough, so to say, right? But what was happening was that my side gig was way smaller, paying me way smaller than my main source of income. And then all of a sudden they decided, hey, guess what? We're going to close down and we're going to shut down. We're going to reorganize. We're going to do whatever it is. You've heard it before. Then boom, I lost everything. I lost my 6-figure income. I went from making 6 figures one day to making 0 figures the next day without warning. I wasn't prepared. I didn't know. And man, that hit me like a ton of bricks. Really, it did. So I don't want that to happen to you. So I want you to realize, and if you're hearing this again because somebody else shared it with you and you're hearing it from me, take it as a sign. You've got to explore different ways to generate income. And in this day and age, today in 2024, there are multiple ways to earn money online and offline, like adding new products or services to your current, inventory, or maybe moving into a new market. Maybe it's time for you to expand your market. So the next thing you want to also do is make sure you look at your things and you are automated and you're streamlining your processes. That's so important to learn how to automate and streamline your process. This could mean investing in technology to automate routine tasks or streamlining operations to reduce costs and increase efficiency. Finally, I want you to think about this. Quiero que empiecen a hacerse las preguntas, hombre. Tienen que hacerse las preguntas para estar fuertes. Building a strong identity is crucial. ¿Ok? Construyendo una identidad para tu negocio es algo sumamente importante. Remember, your brand, it's not just your logo or your colors or your fancy whatevers. It's the experience you provide, the stories you tell, and the connections that you make with your customers. A strong brand can attract new customers and keep them coming back. So I want you to understand that, okay? ¿Quién eres? ¿Quién eres? Tú eres la persona atrás del negocio. Tú eres tu brand. Y tienes que crear un brand muy fuerte para seguir atrayendo clientes y los que tienes, seguir que vengan otra vez a repetir de comprar cosas, tus servicios, tus productos otra vez. Es muy importante. Es más duro buscar a clientes nuevos que recobrar los clientes que ya tienes y recuperar la relación que tienes con ellas, ¿verdad? So remember, a strong brand can attract new customers. So let me ask you this. How strong is your brand? And can you keep your customers coming back? If the answer is, I don't know, then it's time to revisit your brand. It's time to take a look and cohesively make things happen for you. All right, so I'm hoping that this is, I don't like to give too much. So this is part 1 of a 3-part series, as I said. And if you've made it this far, gracias. I love it. Gracias. Mujeres chulas hermosas. Si han llegado a este punto en el podcast, les doy un fuerte abrazo y muchos besitos. All right? But let's recap the key points. Being an educator, I have to summarize everything, right? Okay, point number 1, scaling is about growing your business efficiently and sustainably, right? Scaling es de crecer tu negocio eficientemente y para sostener la habilidad de atraer los clientes. And remember, to prepare for scaling, you've got to ask yourself those self-coaching questions that I asked you at the beginning of this podcast. So assess your current business model, set SMART goals, and implement strategies like diversifying revenue streams, automating your processes, and building a strong brand identity, right? Those are critically important to the growth, the sustainability, and the way to get to those 6 figures, right? So if you're watching me here on the Coach Marti Angel YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so every time I come on, which is once a week, you will be notified. So you can watch me in case I scratch my nose or do something weird. And those of you that are listening to me on the audio, chulas hermosas, gracias. Gracias. I am so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you, my listeners. Now let's talk about what you're going to hear next week. Next time, we're going to dive into part 2 of this series, right? Where we're going to explore effective marketing and sales strategies for growth. I'm going to help you understand how to expand your reach and connect with more customers as a crucial step in scaling your business. So I hope that you listen to this 3-part podcast and keep coming back. And if you like what you heard, share it with somebody. Share it with another mujerpreneur. Share it with your family and friends who may know another mujerpreneur. So people are always listening to the tips because these are free that you can actually do. I'm giving you free business coaching here on this podcast. So thank you for joining me today on the Mujer De Exito Unbounded podcast for you, the mujerpreneur who is ready to rock your biz. So this is Marti Angel. I'm here to support you, your host for Mujer De Exito Unbounded. I'm here to support you on your journey to the six-figure success that you deserve. So stay tuned for the next episode. And remember, your entrepreneurial dreams are valid and achievable. Hasta la próxima, hermosas, chulas. Gracias por estar aquí. Acuérdense, tus sueños de emprendedora son válidos y alcanzables, ¿verdad? Entonces, aquí estoy dejándoles un fuerte abrazo y muchos besitos. Thank you for listening, and find me on social media. Reach out, say hi. I have a gift for everyone who takes the boldness and the bull by the horns to reach out to social media and say, Marti, I heard you on the podcast. May I have my free gift? And I will send you your free gift. As always, have a beautiful day. Mujeres hermosas chulas, namaste.